Well, I've been a Condor since 2023.
Hooray!
No.
Yeah, that was
All right.
Oh yeah, I guess it's me. Count us down, Taylor.
Count us down.
Down, Taylor.
Yeah. 10, 9, 8,
Yeah.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hey, welcome back to the Comm Check podcast. I'm here with Taylor and Justin, and I'm your host number one, host number two, host number two, Hayden. So yeah, we're here with Taylor McVitie, or Taylor Milkclan, or TMC. He changes his name a lot.
Almost every semester.
Yeah, once every semester.
Yeah, I gotta change it. Can't, stay with the old trends. Gotta
No, you can't.
keep updating. Maybe TMC 67 next semester. 6767. Yeah.
Tell us about yourself.
Tell us about yourself.
What program you're in, how long you've been a Condor.
Well, I've been a Condor since 2023, I believe is when I joined, dinosaur age. I'm currently studying esports event management. It's a 2-year diploma program here. I'm graduating at the end of this term and do not plan on coming back.
Are you sure? You don't see yourself in any other program?
I think this is going to be my 4th diploma. I think I'm kind of done with school.
You need one more, Infinity Gauntlet.
Nah,
I don't need another one. I don't need another one.
I mean, I think I'm good with the 4. It's been long enough. Kind of let somebody else take my spot.
All right, and you play Call of Duty, yes?
I do. I play for our school's varsity team as the 5th man, and then I also play on our academy starting roster.
So,
what roles do you play for these teams? Are you playing different roles for each team, or is it the same role for each team?
I would say it's different roles for each team, even though my role changes quite often. For varsity, I'm more of somebody as a 5th man, I'm going to sub in and just fill whatever role is needed. So if I'm replacing, say, Neb, who's more of a main sub, I'll just run the sub that night. Or if I'm replacing Savvy, I'll run the AR. I would say when it comes to the academy, I'm more of the leader on that team. So I'm primarily running the AR, but with how this game works, you can't be just stuck to that one gun. So sometimes I'm forced to pull out that sub, but yeah, my role really is day to day.
So you see yourself picking up a sniper rifle in like game modes like SMD then?
Well, I'll say this. T was our main sniper on Academy when they had aim assist. They've recently taken aim assist off, and T can't snipe. So I've taken that away from him, and I'm tempted to pull it out in our matches this week.
Yeah, who else would you say would pull the sniper rifle out?
For ACAT, I would say T and I are the only two. Varsity, I would say Mintz. I've seen Savvy pull it out, and the game that Savvy pulled it out, he went 2-3. And we beat the team 6-1. So
okay, so it could be better.
Yeah, like me and Frizzy had double-digit real kills, and Savvy's finishing 2-3. Like, come on, man. How is he a starter?
Yeah, exactly. That's the same question I have.
So now talking a bit more about COD. What would you say is your favorite thing about COD?
I don't know why, to be honest. I play COD. It's a very love-hate relationship. Every year I buy the game. I think I mainly play it just because I know I'm pretty decent at it, above average. Played it since Call of Duty 3, so dinosaur ages. Yeah, like on the original Xbox, went to the Xbox 360, then went to a PS4, PS5, then PC. Actually, I don't even think I played it on the PS5. That's probably a lie. But no, it was more of a game that I played casually, and then when I joined the school, Potsy hit me up saying he was starting our COD team, and I eventually joined and kind of fell in love more with the competitive side of it. Chirping, talking smack,
Oh, I know.
getting to yell, come here on a Wednesday night and you'll just hear both COD teams yelling over each other.
Oh yeah. Fun times. But would you say there's a favorite moment that you've had in your span of the Condors?
Even though it's considered like a Mickey Mouse win because we were in a lower division, like that time in MW3 when we went undefeated in Ace, that was just a fun season. I love the game, like MW3, probably my favorite COD I played competitively. And then just like our team, like we just came in, knew what our job was, loaded up into the server, and just ran over the competition. Like we went into every match just knowing we have the upper hand, just play our game, and other teams are going to lose.
What would you say the reason is why you got placed in such a low division?
We had a player on the roster. So in NACE, our coaches can kind of change our information within our profiles, and sometimes Potsy would put in-game ranks that were a little bit higher than we actually are so that we could get put in the upper division. And one of our players saw that Eric did that, or Potsy, and he removed his rank and didn't actually update his rank to what he actually was. So then NACE took one of our substitute players as our fourth guy's rank, and it knocked us down to Division B, which I was kind of like, when I saw it, I was like, how did we end up in this division? And then 1 + 1 = 2. And I was like, okay, well, is there anything NACE can do? And NACE said, unfortunately, you guys are stuck in this division. So we basically said, okay, we don't deserve to be here. Let's prove it to NACE. And we just ran over every single person we could. And I think like the first week, we beat one team like 250-5 on map. Like, it wasn't even close. It was not a competitive season, but it was just like, it was so fun just coming in every night knowing we're just going to win.
Yeah, I guess that would be a lot better of an experience than I've previously had.
Exactly.
Yeah, like
about
winning's just fun.
current season, how are your scrims going, how the game's going, where are you expected to be in the rankings?
Yeah, so NACE changed a lot of stuff this year. So unlike before where you would go based off your in-game ranks, they now do everybody into one Swiss bracket. So we're currently 4-2 within Swiss. This week will be our final week of Swiss. I believe we're playing Marshall for Academy for our match. We've scrimmed them once before. We've beaten them basically almost every map, I believe, in that scrim. We have a little bit of different of a season because we have like a 7-man roster going on right now. So every scrim for the most part has had a different starter in. I believe this week we're playing our match with Kyle instead of Wing, which I believe the time we scrimmed against Marshall with Kyle. So there's a little bit of good experience. Before recording this, actually, we scrimmed with Kyle last night, and it was probably one of our better scrims we've had so far. Just in like giving each other feedback on like what we should be doing better as a team, what we can fix. And I think just running through those 2 sets of scrims, we just did a lot of like fixing our mistakes. We want to be in that upper division. That's expectations. Like we've always, since I've joined, like expectations are to be the top team as we can. Kind of like our COD varsity being in super conference, we want to be in the top division. From there, it's going to come down to like how much work we put into it. We've put a lot of work within the last 2 weeks, almost scrimming every single night. This past weekend, we scrimmed every night, at least 2 sets. So we're putting in that work. It just, can we continue this through the regular season and playoffs? A big question mark will come in playoffs if varsity makes super conference and makes Orlando. I may not be available for the second week of playoffs. So that's where the depth of our team comes into play. You know, Kyle might have to sub in for me. And that's why we're trying to get as many reps with all these different players.
So how many games are in a season? Because like the semester or the season for everyone else is pretty much halfway done.
Yeah, that's...
We're just out of, what, the Swiss stage?
Yeah, so this week will be final Swiss. So after this week, we've played 8 matches of Swiss. We'll get put in our pools. And then I believe it's 5 regular season games and then 3 rounds of playoffs.
Okay.
So we still have quite a bit of weeks left in our season. In the past, it was always 7 regular season matches and then 3 rounds of playoffs. So they've kind of removed 2 weeks of regular season, but added 4 weeks of doubleheader Swiss, which I kind of like the doubleheader Swiss. I think the scheduling has been a little bit bad because some teams didn't know that there were double headers. But outside of that, like coming in knowing, okay, we have 2 matches, like even if we have a slow start in the first match, like we always have that second match to kind of regain from. Or like if we do really well first match, like that's a good warm up going into your second match. And with us like starting pretty dominant at the beginning, we're basically playing good teams every single week.
You think the format's enough to keep you back another year?
No. Yeah, I'm basically done like competing after the semester. I might play in like some of these for fun leagues online, but I don't see a world where I come back to the school as a student after the semester.
Okay.
Now, talking about a little bit more of the rosters, you said that you guys are running a 7-man roster.
Yeah.
Does that take into account as well as an ACAD? So I know you guys have a lot of like, you got 2 ACAD teams. So is that like, are you feeding the extra 2 people or 2 or 3 people from the ACADs for those spots?
So a lot of the time it basically comes like we have our starting 4 for ACAD. We couldn't find an 8th guy to kind of make those 2 different rosters. So our 3 substitutes, as we call them, are just more or less subbing in when somebody's unavailable for a scrim or match. There will be a time, we believe, during the regular season where we might have some of those players sub in for my spot in the regular season, and that's just more to get experience. But the thought is more down the road. Coach Eric realizes a lot of people is graduating after this term. I believe Neb from varsity will be gone. I'll be gone from COD ACAD. Wrench will be gone, as well as Wing will be gone. So he realized, instead of waiting till the fall to find players to fill these spots, let's start early, get these people in, have them start to get reps in with players with good experience, so that when they come in the fall, it's not like their first time starting. They can kind of just get in there and start playing how they were basically in the sub spots.
Yeah, just getting used to that pool of water.
Yeah, it's a big leap to get into the competitive space. It's not something that, first day you can just hop in and be dominant. I use Wrench as a perfect example. He had some competitive experience, but never been in like a full roster before. And like in the fall of last term, like he kind of got thrown into our roster midway through the term. And it was like 3 of us were expecting to go for a championship, and this is his first time. And we did our best to help him grow as a player in that time, but we also realized, we got to stay focused and try winning. And he did a lot in our off season. He hired a private coach.
Oh, really?
And he is like by far like a much higher skilled player now than he was back in the fall. And that's why when it came to tryouts, like he was basically not trying out. His spot was locked in academy because he put in that work. He knew not that he was costing, but like he struggled in the fall, and he said, I have the month of December to get better. And he dedicated that time to getting better. Dedication is a huge thing within collegiate esports.
Yeah,
it is.
Maybe I should lock in.
Yeah, lock in a little bit more.
Yeah, locking in is a big thing.
No, I'm in 1. I just deranked like 3 days
Because you're
ago.
not locked.
Yeah, but no, like I did it back in MW3. Like after our MW2 season, I realized like I wouldn't say I was costing my team, but like I realized that the expectations is to win in the future. I need to lock in, and I got a bit lucky because I got sick with COVID the same week MW3 released. So I was stuck at home anyways. So I just like locked in for 3-4 months. Another big thing for these new guys coming in, they're going to have the entire summer break.
Yeah.
To kind of, like for Wrench, for example, who only got 4 weeks, these guys are going to get like 12 weeks where they can kind of take the off season. Now, nobody's going to force them to play the game, but that's the perfect time to get better as a player.
Yeah.
Come back in August tryouts and be like, and then Eric is like, holy crap, this guy has gotten so much better, and potentially lock in a starting roster spot.
Yeah, I think that's like a perfect example of just like growing as a player and using your time wisely.
Yeah, personal growth is huge. Like, you can be a talented player, but if you're not willing to put in that work to help, like, build the ceiling of your personal game, but your team's game, you're kind of just wasting your teammates' time.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where your teammates are just going to get frustrated with you.
Yeah, like throwing nades at like garbage cans and team killing too.
Yeah, I mean, we can bring up past, but like accidents are accidents. Like, there's always going to be mistakes that happen.
Yeah.
And it's really how can you learn from those mistakes? Because sure, you can use that nade off a trash can as an example that happened to me. But did it ever happen again afterwards? No.
This is true, no.
We learned from our mistakes. And I won't lie, I was not the only one that was in that mistake. Because I kind of said to my teammates, yo, that nade might not be landing where we think it's landing. And my teams continued to run down the map at that nade. So it's a double-edged sword.
It's an overall team mistake that's now getting fixed or fixed in the past.
Yeah, like, I mean, that was in Black Ops 6.
Yeah.
And I think this game, I'll still say when my nades are going to, but I'm a little bit more focused on when I'm throwing my nades. And I usually will say before I'm throwing it where it's going to land, hoping that my teammate listens and doesn't run there.
Yeah, fair enough. What would you say the biggest changes moving from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7?
The movement, the wall bouncing mechanic makes it, I would say, a little bit more advanced. This game, for some reason, has very horrible hit reg.
Okay.
So it's very internet dependent. We don't know why. Microsoft did take over Call of Duty, I believe, last year and convert the servers to the Xbox servers. So that might have a little bit to do with it. I will say Search and Destroy, for where I see it, plays a lot different than the past game. This game, if you kind of group up as your team and just run it down together, the game will kind of benefit you. You at least can get your 1-for-1 trades or your 2-for-1 trades. I would say Search and Destroy has changed. We do have the new game mode Overload, which is adapting as time goes on. The developers have made small changes here and there to the game mode that has made personally me think it's better. We haven't played it much due to the Swiss format being best of threes. You only play it if you technically get to map 3. So we're going to be seeing a lot more once we get out of the Swiss stage. We have been practicing it on COD ACAD, but not as much as we would say our Search and Destroy and Hardpoint. But it's definitely something like I actually probably tonight we're going to start scrimming it a lot more with the mindset of going into after Swiss stage.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of grouping up, I've noticed at least our COD Varsity game when I'm casting those, we don't really group up enough, and it seems to be costing us some team fights.
Yeah, I can see that, and I mean, I've sat in that caster booth watching the COD Varsity. I think the biggest thing there is you have a lot of strong players with Neb and Frizzy and their backgrounds, as well as Savvy, who, I mean, joined me in the MW3 season and developed a lot as a player. And then we have this young talent, Mintz, who's kind of come out of nowhere. I mean, Eric found him, obviously, but like, if you know anything about Tier 2 Call of Duty, he is making a wave with his name. He's tried out for Zuma's team, who's a pretty big content creator, and have almost made that team. So I think it's a matter of them all getting on the same page. I've recorded scrims for them as being their 5th player. I've kind of given my input, but it's really going to come down to just them getting on the same page. I think they have a really good shot of making LAN within NACE this year. And from there, I think this team levels up when we get to LAN. So it's going to be very interesting if they make Orlando to see how far they can make it at that LAN.
Yeah, that's it.
Now moving on to like more of a this and that questionnaire.
Okay.
We got a couple maps, a couple game modes, a couple teams. Basically just picking out which one you want, or which one's your more favorite out of the two. So to start off, we're going to go with a couple maps. We got Den or Raid.
That's a hard one because you're throwing in a throwback map, but in this game, Raid kind of low-key sucks.
Yeah? What's the difference between the previous iterations of Raid?
It's not the map change. The issue is the pacing of the game. Okay. Because of the omnidirectional movement where you can like sprint quicker as well as the wall bouncing, the timings of the map play a little bit differently where like individuals can just get into gunfights a lot quicker. That's why it's only played in Search and Destroy. But you also have Den, which is a map I'm not a fan of in any way. The Search and Destroy is very much one-dimensional. The hard point is one-dimensional. Overload can get fun at times. I'll take Den, even though some people are going to hate me for not taking Raid. But like, I guess I'll just have to take Den there.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, Den seems like a very like crutch type Condors esports, because I know Varsity really likes Den.
Yeah, I think it gets into the one of those spots where like, I don't want to say all the maps are horrible, but like there's some maps in this game that really hurt PC users. Exposure is one of them, where like you'll get half of the frames on exposure for some odd reason. So some teams will just auto veto out exposure, and I think that's why a map like Den gets put into a rotation so much. We've had the luck on ACAD that we've only had to play like Den one or two times. A lot of these teams within the Swiss bracket keep challenging us on our best map. I'm like, sure, if you want to try taking it, let's go. But no, I think you're going to see Den more often until they make a map change.
That makes sense.
For the next one, we got Exposure and Colossus.
I mean, I just kind of explained the issue with Exposure. If they could fix the FPS issues within that map, it probably wouldn't be that horrible of a map. Funny enough, they've changed it the most out of all the maps. They added a random room. They got rid of this hallway on that map. Colossus is a more close quarter maps. One thing that some people might not know, Colossus is fully slanted.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So like if you're looking at it, you're always playing on a slanted map, which once you know, it's kind of like annoying to play on. We've played Colossus on ACAD quite a bit. We've beaten some pretty good teams on it. And other teams that we've lost to on it, it's usually pretty close. So I'll take Colossus just because it's a better map for us.
Sweet. Now into more game modes. We got teams, or only a set of teams. Peak Optic or Peak Phase?
Peak Optic. Optic guy. Yeah. I would say if there's like one esports org I've followed like since day one, it's basically been Optic. You know, they have the Dynasty roster. Now they got a roster who went back to back. They lost that Major 1 in the grand finals, but they're undefeated in this online stage. And Optic's always had like a key Canadian player on their roster, so I've kind of just always followed their Call of Duty rosters because of that.
Just because of the one Canadian player?
Yeah, like the Optic Dynasty, they had Karma, who's now Optic Texas's coach. Okay. So he won 3 rings as a player, and now he's won as a coach back-to-back with them, so he's got 5 chips. He's from like the Ottawa area, and then one of Optic's current players name's Dashi. He's I think he's the longest active player on that roster, and he's won 2 chips with the team, and he's from roughly the same area, like Ottawa.
Okay, next we got game modes. Overlord, Overload, or S&D.
I'll take S&D. I think Overload still has some work to do on it. I don't think it's a horrible game mode. I think it's better than what we had before, which was Control. It gives me the feedback or the reminder of Uplink if you played Jetpack CODs. Just it's more boots on the ground type deal. I think if they can make a few of the correct adjustments to the game mode, it could become a really good game mode. but I'll take Search and Destroy just because it's been in the game for so long. It's kind of a key game mode of competitive COD. And like I said, like I would say there's such a big competitive learning curve when it comes to Search and Destroy that you can't teach. So it's one of probably the more competitive game modes out there.
Sweet.
Have you seen Overload?
I haven't. I hear my buddy play Overload quite a bit because he plays like a lot. He's always complaining about it. He hates it, but he's also playing pubs.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a little bit different playing pubs compared to like a team where it's like pretty more methodical, where you're thinking out what you're doing, right?
Yeah, I think in the team environment, there's a very good structure of playing it. I've explained to our academy guys a lot, and sometimes a bit to varsity of like how it should be played. And I think we're starting to get a good understanding of playing together as a team. When playing in ranked play, it is hell because individuals just don't know how to play it the right way. So spawn flipping, because there is basically primary spawns, just happens so much that it's just so hard to score. And there's points where like your team will be all positive, but you're losing by like 6 caps. It's like, how is my entire team positive, but we're losing by so much? I would say it's a game mode that should be in competitive play, but shouldn't be in ranked play.
That's right. Yeah, that's fair.
So next one, we got your S&D or Hardpoint.
The competitive community is going to hate me, but I have always been a Hardpoint kid.
I'd pick Hardpoint over S&D, but I've never played like.
Yeah, but you're a Valorant guy, so like it's the easiest thing to relate.
But I played S&D before I ever played Valorant or CSGO.
Yeah. My big thing with Hardpoint is and it's kind of, I would say, is probably one of the best things I bring to the table, is being able to read like spawns and what we call split spawns. Mm-hmm. So there's a point where basically me and somebody on the other team could be blocking a primary spawn and it'll cause a split spawn. And if you get that split spawn, the average player is not gonna be able to read like this is a split spawn. I'm usually pretty good at calling out, yo, I just hit a split spawn. Somebody's gotta be with you in the back. And I think, like I said, that's a key thing I bring to the table. I think Hardpoint is very hard to learn, but once you kind of understand the raw fundamentals of it, it's a game that a team can dominate pretty easily.
Yeah, especially because it's like that first map too, like that's like very important.
Yeah, it's map number 1. I think within collegiate esports, if you win that first map, you can kind of have that mental over the other team, like they're down, you're up, loading into the Search and Destroy. So just in like the rotation of how the maps work out. But I've always just, for some reason, had this love for Hardpoint. Like even before competing, like if I was spawning into Call of Duty, my friends would be like, yo, let's play Search and Destroy. And I'd play like 1 or 2 and be like, nah, I gotta go play some Hardpoint. Like these guys on these other team are making me go insane.
Yeah.
So I think Hardpoint is just a better game mode across all like casual and competitive gameplay.
Fair enough. Sweet.
Some people are gonna hate me for that statement. But
No, I agree with that. I played Hardpoint like since Black Ops 2? Yeah, so I've never been an S&D fan myself, other than like specific S&D games like Valorant, CSGO. Because for me, it feels a little weird playing S&D in COD, because it's more like kind of more like an arcade shooter, where CSGO and Valorant's more like methodical, and you actually have to like. I'm not saying you don't have to think in COD.
Yeah.
But like S&D wise, it's like one wrong move in like COD or Valorant, CSGO, you get one tapped.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I think the gentleman agreements kind of don't help the case with the Search and Destroy, where like we've had games where snipers are banned, we've had games where smokes are banned. The smoke in this current game is horrible. We played St. Clair Academy on the weekend, and I remember they smoked a bomb site, and I tried to run right through it, and the second the guy entered the smoke, I could see his silhouette through it. I was like, he's in the smoke, and we just pre-fired and killed the guy. I'm like, how are we releasing a game with a smoke where I can see the guy running through the smoke? Like, what's the point of that? Sure, I have no aim assist on the guy, but I'm good enough with my right thumb that I'm going to kill the guy eventually.
Yeah.
So Search and Destroy has always been that finical game mode where I think the learning curve is just so... It can be big, but once you get to a certain level, the game just doesn't help it. Or I shouldn't say the game, the pros don't help it by banning so many different things.
Yeah. Would you say GAs are like annoying to deal with sometimes?
Yes and no. I understand some GAs to some points, but then at some point they take the unique part of Call of Duty out of the game.
Yeah.
Sniper rifles with aim assist, I completely understood why it should be out of the game. You know, it's not hard for me just to hold down an iron down a lane and let the game do the aiming for me. That's why I think it was nice that they took aim assist out. Pros at the beginning of this year were doing this 2 life with a sniper in Search and Destroy.
Yeah.
Pro level, sure. Their footage is always being recorded. When you get into collegiate and tier 2, how are you supposed to hold somebody accountable to that?
Yeah.
And technically, like, you can break GAs, but then people are going to get mad at you. Other stuff like BO6, they removed muzzles off the AR. I completely agreed. We had a team that told us, oh, we're going to follow GAs. Halfway through the series, they pulled out a muzzle. I was like, okay, I can do it too. I pulled out a muzzle and got a 4-piece. Our stream clipped it, wanted to put it on socials. I was like, no, because I broke a GA. Like, that's not skill. That's just me showing how broken that attachment is. So like I say, there's pros and cons of it.
That makes sense.
Now talking about the newest game patch. You can take it over. You looked up the game patch before.
There's custom game spawns that, are kind of an issue right now if you feel like touching upon that.
What was that, sorry, again?
Custom game spawns with like hosted.
Oh, yeah. Call of Duty screws up more than I think they fix.
Yeah.
I don't know why this is. I sometimes wonder if they do it for the entertainment on socials. But right now, if you are hosting the lobby, so to, I guess, explain more. Since the last Call of Duty, when you start up a lobby, it scrambles all the teams. It doesn't care if you are team 1 loading in, it's going to put you wherever it wants to. So by that, we have to put this thing which is allowing you to change teams on. But for some reason, this most recent update, it makes it where the host can't change teams, no matter what. So you basically have 2 options, because in the veto system, you can pick the map, and then the other team gets to pick what side they want to start on. So like for Hardpoint, P1 is usually in the middle, P2 will be on one side of the spawns. So most of the time you're going to pick whatever side that P2 hill's on. Because of this whole hosting issue and them not being able to change, the game will randomize where they're going to start. And if they start on the side that the other team doesn't want to start on, the host basically has to end the game and then start it again until eventually they spawn on the side they're supposed to start on.
Oh, that would make sense why I keep seeing teams like just die immediately once.
Yeah, so that is them changing to get on the proper side. And that's something I think our broadcast does pretty well to kind of not show on stream. But it's quite painful. And considering that it was a BO6 issue and it came into BO7, makes me really curious, what is the order that Activision is working on to fix these things? Because we're now almost getting up to a year of this being an issue and it still hasn't been resolved.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, and because we practice this game, we just say to the other team, whatever side the host spawns on, we'll go the other side. Because we're not just going to keep ending and starting the game, which makes it struggling with practice, because I think for the last 4 scrims, we've literally played from the same side. So it's kind of like we're either getting that advantage and not having to learn from the disadvantaged side, or we're always starting on the disadvantaged side. So it's painful, but That's
what it is.
it is like,
Call of Duty.
well, I could send out another tweet. Activision ain't going to answer. So, like, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that this is still a thing in 2 separate games is insane.
Yeah, because like, if it was in like Valorant, League of Legends, or like CS:GO, it'd be fixed in the next patch.
Yeah. My theory is that Black Ops 7 is a copy and paste of BO6 with an advanced movement mechanic added to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I think really what happened to Activision, Battlefield has always been like Call of Duty's competition.
Mm-hmm.
Battlefield didn't have a game forever come out, and then they announced like Battlefield, I don't even know what is it, Battlefield 6 that came out this past fall?
Yeah.
Game's dead now, but I think that announcement with their Battle Royale scared Activision. Activision was like, dang, we finally got competition. How can we compete? Well, Modern Warfare brand name doesn't have a good name. Let's release another Black Ops series.
Oh, okay.
So I think the Black Ops studio was kind of like, oh, damn, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
Yo, let's just take Black Ops 6, copy and paste it, make a few changes here and there, but they copy and paste all the errors.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why you see a lot of these mistakes. But it's like, when are you going to fix these mistakes?
Yeah.
Now, would you prefer, instead of having another COD this year, them taking a year off and then making, say, Black Ops 8, but it comes out in 2028 or 2027, waiting like a year or two gap, like how it used to be, where it wasn't like coming out every year?
It would be year dependent. The big issue I see with that is it depends on what the title we get. Like if you were to ask me with Black Ops 6, yo, can you play this for another year while we're developing a better title? I'd be messaging Eric, yo, I'm not playing next year. Like, it's one of those things where, like, I think Call of Duty players have gotten so used to this yearly cycle that the game gets stale quick. Black Ops 7, I think at this point, I've enjoyed it. And if you were to go back a year from today and ask me the same about BO6, I was already over BO6 at that time. So it very comes down to what the game is. If you asked me in MW3 to play another year of MW3, I would have been fine with it. If you asked the entire Academy team at that time, we would have been fine with it. If you asked our varsity team, they were ready to move on.
Yeah. I mean, I played MW2 2022.
Horrible.
And wasn't that just like a copy and paste of, like, wasn't it just a DLC of MW3?
I feel like it was.
No, so
Or MW3 was a DLC of MW2.
no, definitely. Well, to the casual players, probably you could see that. MW3, so MW2 first came out with no minimap, and then when you got the minimap, there was no red dots. So when somebody shot, we couldn't see where they were shooting from on the minimap. And then Dead Silence was a field upgrade and not a perk.
Yeah.
So there's this thing that's used called Sound EQ where it balances all audio across the board. So Sound EQ became very popular in MW2. MW3, Ninja was a perk, so it eliminated that factor. Had a minimap day one, had red dots day one. For the most part, all the maps were remade maps from past. So like Invasion, Karachi, Skid Row. There's probably some other, Subbase, best map in MW3. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that one too. So it was like a throwback of past CODs, but I would say was a lot better than MW2.
Next, also part of the new patch, the visual recoil with the new sight.
Yeah, so what Call of Duty is doing is they come out with weekly challenges, and if you complete 6 weekly challenges, you get it could be a camo one week, it could be an attachment, a new weapon, and so on. They've released a new sight last week in week 2 that has no visual recoil. So it's better than the sight that's being used on the ARs right now. The issue is the ADS speed. It's very slow to aim down.
Yeah.
I've seen some pros attempt it in pro matches. The very first week it was out. I don't think they used it in their second week for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
I believe Wrench on our academy team has used it in some scrims. I haven't really asked his opinion on it. Personally, from my feedback, it just aims down too slow. I would say in this game, you kind of need to run it down.
Yeah.
So having a slow ADS is just not a good thing to have. But I've seen some people who can make it work. And it got added to rank play this week.
Okay.
And I've seen some kids I know who can't shoot straight, shoot a lot straighter.
Okay.
And I kind of hope that they take that attachment out of rank play very soon. But again, it's Call of Duty. They're just going to add broken stuff all the time. And that's why GAs are a thing.
Now moving on, talking more about the CDL. So Major 2's coming up fairly soon. So who do you think will win the Major if they qualify, obviously?
Yeah.
And then who do you think is going to play in the finals?
Yeah, this new format for Major 2, how I believe it's the top 8 teams qualify. Actually, I might be wrong. Top 10 teams, I believe, qualify. I forget how many teams are in the league. Anyways, 2 teams don't qualify. It's a very unique. I don't think it's really been done in the past few years, other than COD champs, having the bottom 4 teams not make it. I would say your obvious pick is Optic because they're undefeated in this stage. They made the grand finals of Major 1 and lost in a Game 7. So it's kind of like they could have easily won that Major. Another good shout is probably Paris Gentlemates because they won the last Major. They've got a pretty good roster. If I had to say 2 teams to make it to the grand finals, it'll probably be Optic and Paris. Probably a rematch of Major 1. Even though Paris has looked a little bit shaky online, I think when they get to LAN, there's a lot of experience on that roster that they're just going to be able to run through teams pretty easily.
Who do you think is not going to make Major 2?
Easiest picks are C9 and I'm going to say Boston Breach. Boston Breach, if they make a roster change, could make it. But I feel like because they won yesterday, they are not going to make a roster change. So they're going to stick with this roster and get beaten by Vancouver Surge to lose that last spot.
Unlucky.
Very unlucky. Now, who do you think is going to be an underdog?
An underdog?
Yeah, a dark horse, say. Somebody you won't expect that could make the run up into the finals.
I think the most obvious one here is to pick G2 Minnesota. Going into this year, G2 Minnesota was like a question mark. They had a player named Skies who had a rough year last year. He had joined a few different rosters and just couldn't stick in the main. They have Kremp, who has kind of been in and out of rosters, was on C9, was on Thieves, was on Breach, but he's done quite well this year. They have a guy named Mamba. It's his rookie season. He's done well. And then Estriel, who's their 4th, who's kind of been a shaky player. They looked horrible in the online stage from Major 1, but then they finished 4th at Major 1. And they beat some pretty good teams to get there. They've looked shaky in this online stage, but I think as long as they qualify, they're one of those teams where like they can make one upset in the winners bracket, and it's like, how are these guys in winners finals? Like, they shouldn't be here, but they are. So I'd say they're probably the dark horse team.
One question is, I've noticed you haven't brought up Thieves at all.
Yeah.
You don't like Thieves? Because I like 100 Thieves. Thieves, LA Thieves. I like their Valorant team. They used to have a league team, and then they're not there anymore.
Well, we know why they don't have a league team.
Well, it is what it is, but when I watch COD, I watch LA Thieves. And
Yeah.
I know they're like top 3 right now in the standings?
I think they're in 3rd place in the stopped standings. They went through a roster change after Major 1, where they replaced Kenny and got a guy named Neum, who's actually played in collegiate esports. He played for Northwood's Call of Duty team last year. He's a very talented guy. He actually played for Optic's Tier 2 roster in Challengers called the Huntsman. So I've watched him enough of his gameplay. He's a very good AR. My concern with that roster is that when it comes against good teams, that they're not going to have the experience of some of these better rosters. They could win it. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. They're a very talented roster. But I think when it comes to like looking at a dark horse, you can't put them in that dark horse stage because they're in third place. But then when you talk about like the top two teams, they lost this weekend to Optic 3-1. So Optic's a little bit better. And I fear like General Mates are just, because they just won Major 1, it's hard to take them out of that top two. So that's why they're kind of stuck in this third place spot.
We have our week breakdown for Conestoga, you know. We got a Valorant ACAD, NECC versus Dalhouse University Gold. Thoughts, 7 a.m. or 7 p.m.
Today?
That's today's match?
Today, yeah.
I've heard of the name Dalhouse, but I don't know where. Maybe a Rocket League stream I might have casted and I just forget about it, or League of Legends. Has our Val ACAD team done well this semester?
They've been hit or miss.
I know, like, I watched their match briefly last week and they had a pretty good shot at winning, and they kind of, I don't want to say threw away Haven, but they kind of got unlucky a few rounds and it kind of cost them at the end. I think it also depends who's in their starting lineup, because YG played last week.
Wait a minute. This isn't this week. This is last week.
That is probably why I know the name Delos, because I probably watched last week's match.
Yeah, they actually won 2-1. Believe it or
They
not.
won?
Yeah.
No, they lost 2-1.
No. Oh.
They lost
right.
2-1.
This guy knows Condors more than I do.
Yeah, I was going to say, I watched that last map. They lost 2-1.
So, fun fact, this was supposed to be at the beginning of the podcast, my brother.
Yeah, you skipped over it.
You
skipped over it. I had it pulled up.
You should have stopped me,
You know what? Let's move over.
You should stop me, but we break down real
We
quick.
break
We
down.
lost last week.
Just do the intro now, and then I'll cut it up.
No, we're
keeping this in. Okay, we got, we'll do it
No
real
Sundays
quick.
at the door. Do I let this guy in?
Nah,
Okay.
somebody else can.
That's fine. Okay, real quick. We got,
Oh, he pinged me. I'm letting this guy in.
get right out of here. I'll do the breakdown.
Yeah, do the
Okay,
breakdown.
real quick. Val Academy lost 2-1. Dalhousie University Gold.
Yeah.
Then we got Tuesday. We got Rocket League.
What's good?
Kaiser University won.
Yeah, I
3-1.
casted that match.
No.
How was that match?
They won 3-1?
Oh, 3-2, sorry.
I was going to say, that went to a
Is
map
that the one
5.
you had to do the countdown?
Yeah, that's the one I had to do the countdown on. That was an interesting countdown. It was actually a weird series, because we should have won map 1, and our guys majorly threw 80. That's your fault. Map 2, they won. Map 3, they won. I was like, okay,
I'm
we're gonna get to
surprised.
go home early. And then map 4,
I'm surprised.
they kind of just got blown out, the Condors. And then map 5, we blew them out. It was very weird.
Oh, that's fair. What else we got next?
Welcome
back to the couch. We got Marvel Rivals Academy loss against Ottawa, University of Ottawa.
Yeah, University of Ottawa.
We got Rocket League Academy.
Which you're a part of.
Yeah, I'm a part of as of last Tuesday.
So is that because FF? Because they didn't have enough players?
Yeah. So what happened was they didn't have enough players because somebody was stuck in that Boston snowstorm at the Boston Major. So 80 had to forfeit their first match because they're like us, where they have the Swiss stage. And then he was going to sub me in for the second match, but he didn't realize he could reschedule, so he just forfeited them again.
It is what it is. We'll speed through these last ones because I see Valorant players coming into play. So we got real quick COD Varsity, Ashland University win 3-0. We got Valorant Manchester, Valorant A.
Oh, that got rescheduled.
Oh, it says 2-0.
I'm on a different day now. Oh, it got rescheduled to a day earlier. That makes sense.
Yeah. Then we got Swiss to be determined. Then we got League. PFW Mastodon League leader. What?
That is an insane name.
Sick name. 2-0 win. They actually won.
Oh,
My goats. Shout out Mo.
Jungler.
Yeah. Then we got the Wednesday COD Varsity loss against St. Clair.
That's no surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost the week before to St. Clair.
Then we got 2 ACAS, but 2 be determined.
So we played. No, they didn't get rescheduled. Who did we beat the first team? I don't remember who it was. And then we had to play St. Clair ACAD for our second match, and we lost. I think we were a little bit. We went into Den.
Yep.
Map 1 and kind of fell behind fairly early. I think we got mental checked, and then we went to a round 11 S&D against them, and we just 2 of us made a mistake, and it just costed the round. Like you said, it's Swiss stage. We learn from our mistakes, and we don't judge. But yeah,
We listen and we don't judge.
but yeah. So that was a little bit rough. And then I think there's another COD varsity match that night.
We got against
TAMU, Texas. Yeah.
And you guys, they won 3-0 on that one.
Was it 3-0? For some reason I thought it was 3-1, but that would explain.
3-0.
You were casting, you should know.
Yeah. It was a good game to watch after. A nice refresher after St. Clair.
Yeah.
And then a couple more games we had throughout the week. Last week we had another R6 varsity. We got a loss for that.
Varsity ACAD?
For R6. But it doesn't say the scoreline for that one.
That's what nobody updated it.
Yeah, no one updated that. Then we got League Academy against Boston, loss 0-2. Tragic. Then we got another Rocket League against Niner Esports, loss 3-4. And then lastly, we got Valorant against TMU Blue, which was a win with 2-0.
We're good. We're good at the video game. Everyone here at Condors, you know, we're probably up. We're up, right?
The stocks are high. The stocks are high right now.
Depends what game you're talking about.
Well, COD, the stocks are high.
COD, the stocks are
I
high.
mean, COD's
Valorant is like...
We've been high.
Yeah. Other than that, that's about it for this week in Comm Check.
Thank you for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming.
No problem.
Check out our streams at Condors Esports on Twitch and YouTube. We stream on Mondays
Monday,
Tuesdays.
and Wednesdays.
For the most part, I think it's just Monday, Tuesdays going forward.
Yeah. So Monday, Tuesdays, check us out on Twitch, YouTube. Yeah, something like that.
Not Facebook gaming.
Not Facebook Gaming, not Kick, not Rumble. Thank you for watching.
Thank you. Bye.